from the fitness journey. Okay, so now moving on to like a little personal.
Yeah.
So what's the best advice you've ever had, like received?
Oh man. One would be to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I learned that in undergrad. And that really kind of opened my mind up to being more, I guess, like aggressive with what I want, which is why like I've been on such a strict timeline and kind of stepping out of that comfort zone. The second piece of advice I remember, my dean of nursing school told me, she was like, you can get whatever you want as long as you give people enough of what they need. And I was like, you know what, that makes sense. So basically, like, you have to be able to like reciprocate. For example, like mentorship. I do a lot of mentoring, and I always tell people, like, you have to be able to give something to your mentor if you're willing, if you're trying to get something from them as well. So like, you can't always be take. So, and I feel like when I keep that in mind, it helps me when I'm in clinical and, you know, put my best foot forward to make sure that my preceptor is good. Like, they don't have to worry about nothing. I want them to be able to just kind of just be there and be a helping hand. I don't want to be a burden to them. And I want to show them that, you know, I'm not just here just to like, be like, oh, well, I'm just a student anyway. Like, no, I'm a step up, so to speak. So that was a good piece of advice that I got. Let me see. Nowadays, I feel like a good piece of advice that somebody told me, it was a CRNA that I actually look up to, was treat yourself like a business. And that has really helped me understand like the value in what I do. And yeah, I want to provide safe anesthesia because I want my patients to be safe as well. But I also know that what I do is not only rewarding, but it's highly sought after. So I need to treat myself in that way as well. And that's something that I'm currently utilizing when I'm looking for jobs, and kind of understand what my worth is, not necessarily demanding certain things, but just recognizing that, you know, what I bring is worth sometimes more than what people are willing to kind of offer. But I think that's some of the best advice that I kind of hold on to religiously throughout different parts of my life.
That's good. I never heard that one, like treat yourself as a business. That's
right
there. So I guess
sorry, just to piggyback off that, because I kind of relate it to physicians, MDs, and or dentists or DOs or whatever. And a lot of times you look at their names and they have the MD or the DO or the DMD, but they also have MBA. And I'm like, okay, well, at first I used to think, why did they get an MBA? Like, that seems random, but it's not random.
Right.
It's because they understand the business of medicine or the business of their profession, and they know how to navigate it starting from the jump when they're done. In nursing, it's not as it's not taught that way.
Right.
So, you know, we're taught about more of the, you know, the hands-on dissing, the art, the discipline, the art of nursing, right? You know, but we're not really taught that business mindset. So it took me a while to realize that. And now that I do, you know, it's no turning back. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to relate it to that too.
No, you're good. That's a great point. I'm new to this field. So I noticed some of those other accolades, and I just like, I really don't know everything that's going on, but no, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that being said, what advice would you give your younger self? Like you maybe 10, 15 years ago?
Ooh, 10. Ooh. I was a totally different person 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think maybe 10, I would have been 19, 20. Okay, so I know exactly where I was back then. I think I would have told myself, actually, have more fun. I was very serious back then because I was just starting school, but I knew what I wanted so early. And I was like, I didn't go to a lot of stuff on campus. I feel like I I had the good college experience because I went to a HBCU, but I don't feel like I had the same experience as a lot of my friends because I was so focused on what I wanted. So I feel like I sacrificed a lot of my 20s, trying to get to this point. And I don't think that it's a bad thing because my 30s is going to be lit. But I probably would have told myself have more fun. But I also probably would have said to probably not be so forgiving to people too. I feel like sometimes people take that as a weakness. And I've had a lot of like moments where I'm like, dang, like, you gonna do me like that? Like for real? So, but it happens. So, and you learn from it. So.
Okay. Another question. So
yeah.
How did your background influence who you are today?
I think that you mean background as far as like family or like
family, all of that, community,
yeah,
upbringing, everything.
I was fortunate to have both my parents in my life, and I think that they both taught me different things. And I remember, as a kid, you're like, man, I can't wait to leave. Like, and I was that way too. And I think that's why I was like, I'm out. Right. But when I got to college, all those lessons started to come back, and I'm like, wow, like you don't know how to do that, or they didn't teach you how to do this. And it came back like, okay, I see why they were like on me consistently when I was in school, and my friends be going out and I got to stay home and do this. I see why that was important. So I feel like that background, and I tell my parents all the time, and people will say, oh, your parents must be so proud of you. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm glad that they set that foundation for me because it really helped me tune out a lot of nonsense that could have, added on an extra 5-10 years to where I am right now.
Right.
I think that community-wise, like I really just try to keep my circle very small and hang around people that either I see myself being in that position or people who are kind of on that same grind as me, because nobody else is going to understand what that is like. Right. If you're not in it or you haven't been there. So that's how I try to kind of center myself. So I don't go out to I don't go out clubbing, not that I can anyway, but time-wise or money-wise. But anyways, I just try to surround myself around those type of people. And I want to be that person for, people coming up under me, which is why I do a lot of mentorship and I do a lot of mock interviews with people who are kind of in that position that I was in 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So that's kind of how my background has influenced me. I definitely think that my parents instilled a lot, and I see a lot of my parents in myself more as I get older. So I think that was very beneficial.
So with this question, so what does life look like for you 10 years from now? Since we already went back, now what moving forward, like 10 years?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I definitely see myself working, of course, but I'm working because I want to. I'm not working because, of course, anesthesia is great and I love doing anesthesia, but that's not the end goal, right?
Right.
I want to be able to invest. I started, I think earlier this year, I actually started, learning about the stock market and day trading and really the importance of it, right? When I was younger, you look at the stuff that's on the screen, you're like, I'm not into that, right? No. And now I'm into it. So I think 10 years from now, I definitely see myself more business minded. Whereas before I was like, I'm just gonna go to work, go home, that's it, live my life. But now I can see where different streams of income and different avenues and other ethnicities and how they get so established is because they see the importance in the things that we don't, because we're not taught that stuff. Or we necessarily can't divulge in it because we don't have the funding to do it. So it's kind of like you got to just do what you got to do.
Right.
But I don't want to live in that mindset. So I definitely see myself into real estate, the stock market, of course, and just other avenues that will really prepare me to where I don't have to work if I don't want to.
Right.
My day job. So that's where I see myself in 10 years. So, and also, I do want to travel a lot more. I do want to travel and experience the things that I feel like I not necessarily neglected, but put aside in my 20s to get to this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to sacrifice something.
Yeah, for sure.
Because without it, you wouldn't get here where you at right now. And you did pretty good right now, you know.
I'm trying.
Hey, the next 10 gonna be even better.
Yeah.
You put in the work. Like this don't come without putting in the work.
Right, for sure.
What's some of these places you want to hit?
I've been to like Jamaica, like the Caribbean. And, I definitely want to go to Europe. You know, I play tennis, so I definitely want to hit like the Australian Open, Australia, Wimbledon. You know, I've been to the U.S. Open and then Paris, France. So with the French Open, so I definitely want to hit all the major tournaments. I'm big into like outdoor stuff too. Like I fish a lot. I grew up fishing, and like in the Everglades and stuff like that. So that's a big part of my life now. So I want to hit like the Amazon. I want to do like a big fishing trip and stuff like that. Those are the type of things that I get excited about. People are like, what you want to do? No, that's what I like to do. So different things like that. Like I want to hit Africa, of course. I want to do like the whole safari thing. Like I want to do things like that.
What parts of Africa?
I definitely want to do Nigeria. I had a lot of African friends when I moved to Maryland. And they used to ask like, you African? I'm like, no, I'm not African. Like, I mean, of course I'm African, but I'm not African. Like, I always get that. And I know. And I'm like, you from Sierra Leone. So I used to always tell people I'm from Sierra Leone. So I want to go to Sierra Leone.
For real though, like you kind of do low key. Yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna do my ancestry one day and see. I'm gonna do it one day and see what it say. It probably is gonna be like somewhere hella African, like.
All right, so if you weren't, you know, in this field, what would be the alternative? Like what would it be?
I remember when I was like, didn't think I was gonna make it like through nursing school. I was like, well, okay, if this don't work, I'm just gonna like be a coach. Like I was gonna be a tennis coach, and I've coached tennis before. I helped coach with my college team after I had graduated. Like I went back and did it for like a year, and I love it. Like I love coaching. I don't know, probably something in IT maybe. I like IT stuff. So if I didn't do, and actually my first plan was to do physical therapy before I even thought about nursing. Yes, that was my first goal. But when I moved, my university didn't have like a physical therapy like track. So that's how I even ended up in nursing. And then when I found out about anesthesia, it was like, that was it. So.
Okay. All right. So these are like quick, short answer questions.
Okay. Like rapid fire. Okay.
Yeah, rapid fire. What gets you motivated in the morning?
Graduating.
Right. For me, boy, I can't wait.
Graduating. Yeah. It keeps me motivated. The fact that I'm right there. Yeah.
One word to describe you.
Ooh.
That's tough. I know. So many words.
Determined. I'll just say determined. I'll leave it determined. Determined. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
Like impatiently determined. That's what I wanted to say, but that was 2 words, so I couldn't say
2 words. Yeah.
So I couldn't say both. But now you say elaborate. So I mean, like, when I know I want something, like I'm really gonna like focus all my attention to that, and I feel like it's beneficial because it's got me to this point. But it's also like sometimes I don't think it through all the way, and then I'll set myself back anyway. When if I would have just took a little bit more time to think it through, I would have got there maybe more smoothly. But I think it's more of a pro than a con. But I would say like impatiently determined. Like when I'm ready for something, like I really don't want to wait on anybody else to get it done for me. Like I'll bypass all of that and just do it myself, and then circle back and be like, hey, by the way, I did this. So that's how I am. But that's what I would say. 1 word, determined. 2 words, impatiently determined.
All right. 1 word to describe your journey.
I would say inspiring. I feel like a lot of people can relate to, you know, where I've been or come from, or they've had similar journeys. So I would say inspiring.
Okay. Last question. What's the best part of being a Black man?
being a black man, like it's there's nothing relatable to it. Like, unless you're a black man, there's nothing relatable to it. I think the best thing is like we can really fit in so many different areas of life. It's unfortunate that, you know, some people don't get the opportunity to, but when we do have that opportunity, we are never forgotten about. Like we stand out in so many ways, and I think that we inspire a lot of what goes on and how the world moves, whether it's positive or negative. And I really wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
Okay. All right, PJ, man. I appreciate it, man. Go ahead and shout out your stuff. Like, shout out your YouTube, Instagram.
Oh, for sure. You ain't said nothing but a word. So y'all can find me on Instagram at PJ Said It, PJSAIDIT. You can find me on YouTube at the SRNA Drip. You can find me on Facebook at Patrick Thomas. I got a LinkedIn. I don't really use it, but it'd be Patrick Thomas. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, for sure.
And PJ, man, who did your artwork on that YouTube with the cartoon of you?
I did that. Well, no, wait. I take it back. I did not do the actual artwork. I put it all together. The actual artwork was done by an artist, on a graphic designer I found on Instagram. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but he did it for me.
Okay.
And then I pieced everything else together. But he drew it. He did a really good job then. Yeah, he did a really good job. I sent him a picture. And it took him maybe like a week because he does a lot. Yeah. And that's what he sent me back. And I was like blown away. Like it was definitely more than what I expected.
Fire.
Yeah. It was great.
So you put the intro and all that together.
Yeah, right? I pieced all the intro together myself, but the drawing itself was him. I wish I knew his name off my head. I don't even know what I would search to try to find it on.
You good. I just had to give you that comp. Hey, it looked good.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon.
All right.